Hello, welcome to the day 26 of Gratitude Journey Towards a Magical Life. What we do here is following 28 days gratitude journey, following this magic book by Rhonda Byrne. Today is day 26. Obviously, we have done 25 days practices already. We are achieving our target of getting into 28 days. So excited and so happy. And this is obviously I have done this practice a few times, but this time I feel it more and more because I am doing it with many of you. And if you haven't done this practice before, try and do it from day one. What we normally do at the beginning of the day, we write down at least 10 blissful things have in our life, write them down and being grateful for having them 10 things in our life. That's how we start the day. But today's practice is obviously something that we all can practice honestly to transform our weaknesses to improve our lives. Basically, the practice, it says, magically transform mistakes into blessings. How many mistakes we do on a daily basis? Sometimes we don't tend to take our blames into ourselves. We try to put the blame, take our mistakes into ourselves. We try to put the blame towards the others. Obviously it can be temporary relief, but you will still feel the pain and you will not learn from that mistake when you try to blame the others. What we're going to try and do in today's practice is learning from mistakes and not to repeat the mistakes, simply acknowledging the mistakes happen. We all human beings, mistakes can happen. As long as we are not repeating the mistakes, that's that important. I mean, how many times that if for example, if a child is if a kid trying to learn a bicycle, how many times that child can fall, that then person, if we keep shouting and things like that for the mistakes, they will never ever learn how to ride a bicycle, things like that. We as parents, sometimes we tend to criticize mistakes doing by our children. That should not be the case. Let them learn from their mistakes. That's how they improve. That's how they learn how not to make or not to repeat the same mistake again and again. So basically, it's a life lesson. If you can acknowledge our mistakes and accept our mistakes and learn from it and not to repeat them, that's how the life should be. But you wouldn't have any pain anymore. Straight away you will feel a bit of pain. That's normal with a mistake, but as long as you are ready to practice this new way of see the mistakes, perceive the mistakes, then you will not feel that pain anyway, because we are trying to do a different practice to accept our mistakes and turn them magically into something positive. The book is saying that there's an example. For example, if you are caught up in a highway for speeding up with the police, then rather blaming police to be hide there and get you caught, but that's your mistake anyway. If you are speeding up in the road, that's not safe. That's your mistake. Sometimes we tend to blame police, but they are hiding and caught up. But that's not the case. We should admit to it. That's our mistake, then we should not repeat that mistake. If we keep doing this mistake again and again, what would happen? Things can seriously go wrong. Other people's lives will be taken from our own mistakes. So we should be not repeating any single mistake, especially these type of severe mistakes, rather blaming other people. We better not to do it. But this book, for example, how we do it, a book has given this example of a caught up in a police by a police for speeding. And what book says, at least pick one mistake you have recently done. It could be either difficult argument or a fight over something, or even a simple thing like this speeding thing. These are the practices. This practice we're going to follow with everything, all the mistakes. The book is saying this example, at least pick one mistake you have done, you have come across with, and write it down or think about it, and write at least 10 grateful things happened after that mistake. You might be thinking, what shall we think of? Obvious mistake is a mistake. There's nothing grateful happen after that, but you can find different grateful things out of that mistake. I'll give this example, then you will understand how to find the grateful things around a mistake. The book is giving this nice example. Let's take the example of being caught speeding by a police car and receiving a fine. I'm grateful to the police for wanting to protect me from harming myself, because after all, that was all they were trying to do. I'm grateful to the police because if I'm honest with myself, I was thinking about other things and I wasn't concentrating on the road. I'm grateful to the police because it was foolish to put myself at risk speeding with a tire that needed to be replaced. I'm grateful to the police for the wake up call. Being pulled over did affect me, and it will make me watch my speed and drive more carefully in the future. And I'm really grateful to the police for the work they do in trying to ensure the safety of every person and family on the road. I'm grateful to the police. They must be heartbreaking situations every day, and all they are trying to do is protect my life and my family's life. I'm grateful to the police for making sure that I arrived home safely and walked through the door to my family as I usually do. Things like that. Obviously, you might be a bit feeling upset or sad or angry if police pulled you up, but these are the things you can be grateful out of that situation. As we listed that this mistake can be really heartbreaking or painful, but if you think in this way, the grateful things of making that mistake, then you will see the things differently. You will not repeat that mistake again. Then you will open your eyes not to blame the others, just to admit to your mistake and not to repeat it again. This practice can be done for any mistake, any simple mistake. When you get practice of it, as this is the guidance, that sometimes you can't think of grateful things after having to face two incidences like this, but these are the bit of worst case scenarios. But even for simple single small mistakes, you can find things that grateful for, then write them down and try and clear that mistake out. With every mistake, try and do this way. If you can't find, at least find 10 things grateful, or at least try and find few, at least 5 of things out of that, then you will understand the mistakes are happening, but we need to learn a lesson from it, not to repeat it. And most importantly, you will not have carrying forward with that pain. You will be, simply because you wouldn't do that mistake again. So that will be improvement for our life. We will have a nice responsible life as human beings. So that's a practice for today. Simply taking the mistakes as a positive way and not to repeat them. That's today's practice. And obviously don't forget to do tonight's magical stone practice. Hold your magical stone in your hand and be saying thank you for the best thing happened for your life during the day. That's how we normally end the day during this 28 days journey. And that's it for today. I'll see you again tomorrow with day 27 practice. Until then, have a lovely day.